From the bayous in Louisiana to the timber country up north, you'll find them out on the trap line, chasing furs to put up on the board. Mixing up another batch of that magical stuff, chilling around the fire after the show. Hey, it's Sarah and Jeff, and maybe a guest on the Trapping Radio 2.0.
Hello and welcome to Trapping Radio 2.0. This is your host this week, Jeff Dunlap. Just thankful to have you all tuning in. Sorry we haven't been on the last couple weeks, but sometimes life gets in the way. I had interesting things happen I'll be telling you about. One of them is making bait and got my front tooth knocked out. It's back in now. I can talk clearly. So it wasn't cheap. It took a lot of $100 bobcats to get it put back in and fixed properly. So, but I guess I'm not hillbilly hot anymore. So, anyways, we been just getting around for conventions. Well, we'll do our sponsors first. Funkies out of Guthrie, Iowa. They are one of our top sponsors. Alan does the distributing for us for Predator Control Group, and he does a really good job. But more than that, he's a trap supply dealer. And, you know, if you need anything, you know, just look up Funky Trapping Supplies, Funky Trap Tags, and he sells more, of course. But, you know, you can get everything from Alan. Also, F&T Post.com. They are our other sponsor, and they're really good friends, just like Alan is. And yeah, I mean, nobody's quicker than F&T getting stuff out. They might be as quick, but they're not, you know, any quicker. So, you know, you can, you know, get a hold of either one of them, and really appreciate it because, you know, they help pay for all the server space and everything else by, you know, sponsoring the show. And, you know, F&T, like I say, you can look them up at www.fntpost.com. Also, if you'd like to be a sponsor on the show, you know, we're not looking for 100 of them. You know, we've had some people approach us, but our stuff didn't kind of line up. So, you know, I'm not going to go in and degrade anybody, but, you know, we just want, you know, people to get their orders and take care of trappers, get their orders out and take care of trappers to be sponsors on the show. That's kind of the line that Clint had drawn, and I feel the exact same way, and so does Sarah. So, if you want to be a sponsor and, you know, just get a hold of me. I'm sure you got my phone number. So, anyways, this week and Sarah, she's off down to Iowa. We've been traveling all over the country this year, last year too. She's going on. I said, I'll stay at this home, our Michigan home, and you know, just keep everything going here. I didn't want to. I just about tripped out, you know, and it's a bad thing to do going in the face of 12 or 14 conventions we got to go to all summer long. So. Anyways, so she headed down to Iowa because her mom's birthday and stuff. I stayed here to work on stuff, but it's been slow going. Went in and sat in F&T's office and bullshit with them boys, you know, a couple times. Don't tell Sarah. She already knows. I'm kidding, but I am getting some stuff done but we're loading for the conventions. And, you know, the first ones we're going to is Fur Takers. And then we're staying out there and then going right to Pennsylvania convention. rather drive all the way back to Michigan than drive 4 hours away from where the convention was. So basically, we're going to do two back to back. We're going to try and do that quite a few times this summer. So, usually the associations are good about letting you come in situations like that. And, if they're there, they'll, they usually accommodate you really good. So, and we do appreciate that. But, so we'll be hitting the fur takers, and then we'll be hitting Pennsylvania, and then I'll have a couple weeks off, and then we'll be hitting the Escanaba UP Trappers Convention, and then the Nationals, and then we'll go right from the Nationals right to Minnesota. Minnesota, we'll go back to Iowa, stay there, then hit the Michigan one on the way home. So there's plans in place. You know what they say, the plans of mice and men. So shit in one hand, wish in the other, or plan, and see what fills up first. But just been getting stuff around it. The thing is it takes so long to get everything back to we've switched out of the convention season last year, go into trapping, and now to switch back and try and get everything the trailer inside painted and everything. It just it takes time, and it takes us like 2 weeks. Somebody's moving at a quicker pace than what I do. They probably get it done like probably in 3-4 days. It takes me 2 weeks. If it ain't trapping, I ain't moving too damn quick. But we're just basically bottling lures, trying to get ahead. So that next fall, all summer long, we'll keep bottling and getting ahead on stuff. So next fall we can go trapping, because if we don't, you don't get to go trapping. Because we're in both businesses, but you can't let the one fall apart because you want to go trapping. And so we've made commitments to people on having the product for them, and that's what we stand by. So we got to get the stuff on the shelves and get ahead now, so that next February we can go back to Texas and trap for a month or a month and a half. And go to North Dakota trapping for a couple weeks and stuff like that. So that's what we're up to, just getting stuff around. Sarah's making t-shirts. We got a couple. She's got a bunch of new stuff out. Everything we have, she makes herself. We very seldom buy anything from other companies. Any printed stuff. She buys all the stuff to do it, and makes all of her stuff herself. She's really good at it. Her and her sister Jessie. I ain't got the slightest damn idea how to do any of it. I'd have this new building burnt right to the ground. Start running laser machines and all this other shit. So I'm lucky if I can tune traps. So that we're getting that stuff around. We got a new Dunlap Lures shirt with a cartoon beaver on the back. Really cool. I really like it. And he's holding a old time wooden, like a barnwood sign, says Big Pile. If you're going to the conventions, you'll see it. If not, you can look on dunlaplures.com and you can see it on there. But I like getting products like that. My thing is I've never come out with a lure where I ever thought I'm going to come out with this and it's about the money. Like that t-shirt, to me, yeah, I mean, do I want to sell some and make money and pay for the gas and the tables and all? Absolutely. But I've never ever went, and I like the idea of I come up with an idea, we implement it, and then people buy it and they like what I like. That's what I like. It's not about it's about the money, but it's really not about the money. If I was a millionaire, I would do the same damn thing. Nothing would change. So, except for I'd be giving away free trapping supplies. I was thinking about that the other day. If I ever was a millionaire, I'd probably go buy a bunch of Dave Graham setters and stand there and hand them out to every kid that come by there, that needed one. So that would be the fun part for me. But we're just getting, like I say, getting stuff around. getting Black Widow stands in the boxes to take, the V stands in the boxes to take. I finally found some Blackberry Royal Crown. Sarah thinks I only bought one bottle. I actually bought three. So the first couple conventions might be a drunken mess. We'll have to see. I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I'm gonna try some of it. Like one sip or three, but Haggerty will probably be drinking on it. At the Haggerty will be at the Fur Takers. Nick won't be there. Same thing at Pennsylvania. Jeff and Jess with J3 Outdoors will be set up right by us at both of them. So make sure you stop by and see us, even if you're not buying anything this early. Stop by and bullshit. Makes it weekend pass a lot faster if we get to hear some of your trapping stories. I want to, especially if you got kids with you, bring them up to my booth. I want them to tell me, if you can, tell them to think about a story. And when they get there, I want to hear, their best trapping story that happened to them this year. That's what I want to hear. So, and that's what the part that makes it fun for me going to the conventions is talking to the trappers, and especially the kids, and you see the excitement, especially they start telling their stories. It's so fun. That's why I keep going to the conventions, is because of just like that, where you get to interact with your people, and other than that, it's all online. There's downfalls on it. You got to deal with the associations, which isn't always fun on getting tables, and it's always a big battle. Which I'm not sure why, when you pay somebody thousands of dollars, why it's a problem, but it always seems to be with some of them. So, you don't look forward to that, and then other dealers you don't get along with, everybody's on edge, and, I know everybody else says, everybody gets along. Everybody don't get along. They're lying. Nobody gets along with everybody, or else there's a problem with that person. Some people just don't like each other. Because there's some people I don't like, that's an absolute fact. I think they're fakes, and I think that they take advantage of trappers by selling them a bunch of shit. So that's just how I feel. No, and I don't like them. So everybody says that everybody gets along, and no, we don't. There's some people at that convention I don't want to be set up next to. And if the association would let me, I'll pay another $100 not to have to be set up by them, because I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to hear their screeching voices all weekend. So just my opinion. You figure at your work, you don't get along with everybody, and everybody's not going to get along when money's involved. So, but the part I do like is seeing the kids and the trappers and hanging out, and especially after the doors close. That's my favorite time. Everybody's just kind of sitting around a fire or bullshitting, and that's like one of the funnest times of my whole year, even out trapping. If I had to choose the trapping or getting the boat, sit there and bullshit with trappers at a fire, I probably would choose the fire 50% of the time, because that's just as fun to me as the trapping. One thing I was going to talk about this week is some of the different trips we took this year. Last year we went on, I don't know, it was 5 or 6 different states we went to. I can't remember. It was something like that. Anyways, this year we went to, we trapped Michigan and we trapped Iowa. You just always can figure them two, because that's our home states. And we trapped a lot of raccoons. In Michigan, we didn't hammer on stuff as much as we normally did. We caught some rats, and we caught some raccoons and a few coyotes, but not much as far as the coyotes. The number's been down here, and if I'm gonna go chase coyotes, I want to go somewhere where they're not, there's a higher population. Do I enjoy going here in all my old spots, my dad's spots. Absolutely, that's why we went and caught some. But I want to go, pile them up. So then we went to Iowa, caught a bunch of raccoons. Had a lot of fun doing that. Freezers full of them. Everybody kept telling me online, "Why are you trapping raccoons? They're worthless. They're worthless." And I'm like, "Yep, Well, in the end, they weren't worthless. We in the grease was getting $9 in the grease or $12 put up. So that was a nose count. That wasn't the high. That was the nose count. 9 in the grease, $12 put up, and we actually got more than that on one batch of them. So the thing is if I'd have listened to everybody last fall, you know what I'd have got? I'd have got shit because they were all saying, but not everybody. A bunch of them was like, they're worthless. Well, you know what? I don't know what to tell you. You're telling me they're worthless, and people keep writing me checks for that, for what you're saying is worthless. I think I'm going to go with the checks over opinion of somebody that doesn't really know shit. So then we went to Arkansas. Had a lot of fun with Carl, Liz, J1, Jeff Haggerty came down. We had our wild hog excursion down there. Man, that was like, I would have to say exciting, scary. It was exciting when I thought that hog was in a hog snare. It was scary when I realized that it wasn't. And I'm standing there with a 22 pistol, and it definitely was a come to Jesus moment. Right after we realized that what the whole situation was, because them animals will hurt you. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm not been around a lot of, tons and tons of hogs, like Dave Ellis, Yacht, he's dealing with them every day. I'm from northern Michigan, travel to other states and stuff, but I'm not after hogs. I've messed with them quite a few times, but not on a large scale. Generally snaring. And, they, if you haven't seen the video, you should go to Jeff Haggerty's. I think he's got it on J3 Outdoors on. It'd be a lie. I can't remember which one it was, but J3 Outdoors. If you go scroll back into like the end of January, something like that, on his posts, it will be on there, and it's a crazy video. I give when you watch it. I mean, I give Haggerty's got some balls. I mean, he stood like right there, with his 10 millimeter, and that hog leaves the ground coming after him. It hits that end of that snare, and like I said, it was just a bobcat snare. But thank God Carl from Razorback Snares makes an awesome snare. Or I'd have had to run and leave Haggerty there to fist fight with that hog. I'd have probably shot my 6 shots out of that 22. That was Sarah's purple 22. But I'm such a shitty shot with that. I'd probably hit Haggerty 3 times. At least I'd have put him out of his misery while that hog was tearing him up. But we had an awesome time. I got to see Tim Roper. You guys know him as Meat Trapper. He was there. And, Tim's really looking good. He had talked about how he had cancer. He hadn't really put it out there. We'd known for a long time, but he's going for treatments and stuff, and just a hell of a nice guy. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed my time with him. Getting to talk to him, hang out with him, and just can't say enough good things about Tim. Tim's wacky, but Tim will be the first one to tell you he's wacky. But he's a hell of a good guy, and very, very knowledgeable, and he talks really well, where you can understand what he's saying. So it was worth the trip down to Arkansas just to see Big Tim Roper, meat trapper. We call him meat tenderizer because he was beating them beaver to death down there with a club, and we was like, "Holy shit, your name isn't meat trapper, you're the meat tenderizer." So we started calling him that, and he I don't think he really is trying to push that name, but we still call it to him. If your friends can't give you a little tagline and rag on your ass, then you got bigger problems. So, well, then we go down to we leave Arkansas. So we're there for 2 weeks, and we're on the job with Carl, and we leave there and we head to Texas. So Sarah had never been to South Texas before and never been down there trapping. I had been down there trapping one time with Norm Blackwell and really enjoyed it. It's just, you know what? 22 hours is a long damn way to drive. But going from Arkansas, it was only like 10 hours. So, like, oh, this isn't too bad. But I'll tell you what, when I hit the button for directions coming back from Texas, and it said it was like 26 hours on there, I'm like, oh my God, that's 26 hours with no stops that I have to drive this thing. And I'm like, oh shit. So, I mean, that I had to turn the GPS off, so I'd have to look at the 1, 2 miles ticking off. And but on the when we went down there, we get down there, and Albert, in case you hadn't heard, we were down there with Albert, and Albert's a really good trapper, and especially a snare guy, and he really enjoys the snare. And we got there, and when Albert had got there before us, he got in a wreck, and he went to turn left, and a girl comes shooting around the side and hit him right I don't know, right by the rear axle in that area. Anyways, totaled out his truck, and he had like a 2020 big old diesel Dodge, with all the extras, as Albert would say, and black rims. That seems to be with Albert. The black rims are the most important. It doesn't matter if it's got a steering wheel, as long as it's got black rims. And like the one cowboy down there told Albert, I don't care how nice that truck is, you ain't picking up no women with that truck. So, it was kind of funny. But anyway, so he was there just waiting on us, and Sarah's worried about him the whole time about not being able to get to the store or whatever. But when we got there, everybody had taken good care of Albert, and he has canned venison, canned soup, canned this, canned that. He's got like cases of this shit, and he calls them heat 'em and eat 'ems. And I'll tell you what, if Albert ever offers you a heat 'em and eat 'em, you better take it, because that's some damn good stuff. Especially like the vegetable soup, which I ain't even a big fan of vegetable soup, but that shit is awesome. It's awesome. And so we go and start running. Albert had a lot of the fence set up, so we start running part of where Albert had, because he was having a hard time running all of it. So we started running part of the fence, which, if you don't know what it is, it's like a 10-foot chain link fence, so the deer can't jump over, and other stuff can't get in. But they dig under it, and then where they dig, that's where you're going setting like the snares or traps or whatever, where they're digging like a coyote or a bobcat's going under. But then bobcats, a lot of times they just jump and run right over the top. So we set them, and then we'd setting footholds on the inside. Either by the crawl unders, we have a snare, then put another set there, because it's a good location, because there's predators coming there. We usually do really good on them type spots. And then we went and we'd run that, say, in the morning, and then if we caught any cats, because the cats were the only thing we're saving. If we caught coon, coyotes or whatever, we didn't worry about it. But the cats, we'd run back to the walk-in freezer, or cooler. Because, I mean, it was getting, 80, 90 degrees some days. So you don't want to ride around. Them cats will slip really quick. We caught one gray fox down there. Sarah caught her first gray fox. And so we took that back to the cooler also. We're getting that mounted. But then we go out after we check them, whatever we got, and go check the footholds we had on the inside. Then just go and start resetting on the back end. Every day we reset, and because that's always my theory, is if things are going good, set more traps. If things are going bad, set more effing traps. I mean, that is the name of the game, is getting as much steel in the ground as you can. You want to have good sets in good locations, but getting steel in the ground and more and more and more is the key to putting up bigger numbers. So, especially when you're coyote trapping. And, we had a lot of fun down there. I usually I'll go to some place and I'll be like, yeah, next year let's go here, let's go there, let's try something different. And, I like going into new areas and figuring stuff out, because most of the people that haven't really traveled anywhere trapping, they'll tell you a coyote's a coyote no matter where they stand. And then to some degree that is true. And this is just my personal opinion. But it doesn't hold true on all aspects. Like the way a coyote acts in South Texas is not the way they're gonna act in say northern Michigan or northern Wisconsin. Now, if you think about it, if you got a bunch of dogs and you put something in a hole in a bunch of you just regular dogs, they're going to act one way, trying to get it out of there, rushing the hole, trying to get the stuff out. Where if you have one or two that know each other and are going to share, those two coyotes or dogs or whatever are going to act different going into that hole. So it's just. If you have coyotes with a higher population area, I mean, it's going to be different, and it's just the way it is. I mean, it's like you said, coyote traps here on a 24-hour check, and that you see a fresh track and you think, shit, the coyotes might not be back here for 2 weeks. Well, down there in Texas, every night there's going to be a coyote, or every other night there's going to be a coyote running by. I mean, that changes the whole scenario right there. So, I mean, there's just subtle differences in the way that you're dealing with them. And, the way I set for coyotes in northern Michigan, I'm a lot less sloppy up here to catch the coyotes than what I am in South Texas. I mean, do I still make good sets? Yeah, but I get sloppier because get going fast and put in a set, and then I'll, it's good enough, and I'll catch a coyote. We're in Michigan. I ain't gonna catch one. After November 15th, our deer season, when them coyotes, them pup coyotes become real coyotes after deer season, the game has changed. Down there, it doesn't seem to bother them as much. So. But it's just, like I say, my personal opinion. That don't make it, where you got to think that or, can't have a difference of opinion. But, generally the people that say that everything's the same everywhere ain't trapped anywhere. So I've trapped a lot of spots, and to me, they definitely act different on the approach. Where there's a lot of coyotes, they'll rush them, they'll push them holes a lot tighter. Like in Louisiana, they'll push them a lot tighter. Does that mean that the guys that are trapping there aren't good trappers? Absolutely not. That doesn't mean anything. It just means it's different. And if they came here, they would catch coyotes. It's just they would have to adjust to the way these ones are doing. If you got a guy that's a good trapper, he usually figures the shit out. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, But I mean, we on the coyotes down there in Texas at times. I mean, we got there and Albert had him. He had already caught 50, and I mean, they were spooked. They wouldn't go back through the fence. I think we only snared like, I think me and Sarah snared like three of them going through the fence, and they wouldn't. They just wouldn't go through it. You'd see tracks on the inside. You catch them on the inside, in like traps and stuff. But they didn't want to. They knew something was up. They might not know what a snare is, but they knew they did not want to go through them holes. And then they started digging new ones where you'd see they'd come up there and dig their own hole and go through, and then you set it and nothing. So they went through there one time. So I mean, it's just when you set up them spots like that, you gotta hammer the crap out of them to right away, because once they start smartening up and you think, well, how does this coyote over here know? I don't know how they know, but they know when something's going on that ain't right, and they figure it out pretty damn quick. Pretty damn quick. They ain't stupid. So the thing is, down to Texas, and we really, 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 really enjoy going down there, like with Albert. It was we've gotten really lucky to come out, have good friends, and that we mesh up with and go places like that. Because I mean, if you went on a trapping trip and showed up someplace and the person was just an asshole, or you didn't gel, I mean, it would be miserable. I've had some of those before, and where there's infighting or whatever, or a different agenda, and it's no fun. It's no fun to go do that. And sometimes like I say, oh, I'm not doing that again, and sometimes you get a fun sounding deal, and you think, I'll go, and then you do it again. You know, because I'm not apparently highly intelligent to be able to learn from every mistake I make. I keep making mistakes, but hey, that I guess that's why what humans do. But a lot of the ways we were doing down there, see what we're getting paid to trap uh, raccoon, getting trapped raccoon, coyotes, possums. We weren't getting anything for the cats because we were selling the cats and keeping them. But so basically, that was what we were after down there. I mean, we caught other stuff, but and badgers, and I think that was it. But anyways, we got paid by the piece, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it paid the bills. It got you get rich doing it. Nope. But you know what? I got to trap South Texas for I don't know 3 weeks, and we end up between me, Sarah, and Albert caught 70 cats. I don't even know how many coyotes and stuff. I had to look at the paperwork. Usually they run pretty close, so it's probably around 70 coyotes. And down there, I mean, normally wherever you go, you don't run 50-50 with coyotes to cats, but it's usually pretty damn close down there. At least the areas we're trapping. I mean, I'm sure you could go 100 miles away and it'd be different, but that's what it runs where we're at. So, we were setting up a lot of the feeders and stuff, and they were having because the raccoons were coming up. They got these sun stuff. I'm not can't think the word, but anyways, they had the sun stuff that sets the feeders off. Anyways, the raccoons were getting up there, tearing that shit off, all their electrical stuff. And then they put out a lot of for the deer. They put out like these big tubs with cottonseed in it, and apparently the deer really like them. I didn't. I mean, I'm from northern Michigan. I don't know. I wouldn't even know what the hell the cottonseed was if I had seen this stuff. I was like, "What is that?" I mean, we ain't got fields of cotton up here. But anyways, the coon will get on there and kind of shit all over it and wipe their rear on it and everything else. So they want the coon dead, and that's what they told us. But the thing is a lot of times if you go and you're in them situations, or if you have your own deer camp and you go and you set right up on that feeder, it'll kill that spot because you get that death smell up there, and sometimes it'll shut it down until you get rain. And in South Texas, you might not get no rain, so to wash that scent out. So it's best to set off of it. A lot of times on them ranches, they'll have a water system like a pond or irrigation, on one side, and then they'll have the feeders over, a little ways away. And if you look a lot of times, even if it isn't like a coon trail like you'd see in Iowa, a lot of times there'll be a little trail going from the feeder to the water. And just like you'd expect with a coon, you just set on them and, you get them. I mean, we had to use DPs because, we didn't want to set, they got a, 150 to $100,000 deer. I don't want to come back there and it's running around with a 220 on its leg, so we erred on the side of caution, and just, set DPs in those spots. And, as we did really good on them. But we also sometimes will move up on them feeders. If you can't find, exactly where they're coming or whatever, we'll set right up on the feeders because it's better to get, 2, 3, 4 raccoons than what than set in the wrong spot and get nothing. The other thing we found down there was, and I'd seen the same thing in Arkansas when we were there the 2 weeks previous, is you're setting in the normal spots for the raccoon, and then I get out to make a coyote set, and I see coon tracks down the edges of the road. So I started setting. I didn't do it in Arkansas, but I did it but Alan had done it there, and he was picking up a bunch of coon right alongside the road. And I started doing it when I seen them tracks in Texas, and we started picking up pretty good numbers of coon. Just them coon, it's breeding season, and the males are just out cruising, and they get on that road, and they travel a long ways, and there ain't no thorns there on the road, so it's pretty easy. And that if you stay on that road, you're going to come to a feeder and water at some point. Usually not that far apart. So, so we started setting them just like they were, coyote travel ways, and started doing real good with coon. I'd go and put the DP on each side, and then run, take some DP sauce, and run it right across, the whole road from one to the other. Just a light line. Just to get, if they were in the middle, to get them to stop and follow one way or the other. And it worked good. But like I say, sometimes I'd go right up and set up on them feeders, even though I know that it was not going to make it the best situation for the reset. And like I say, sometimes it doesn't bother them; they'll come right in there. Other times, you put the cameras on them, and you can see that they're not sure something's wrong, and it isn't the camera scaring them like it does coyotes or cats or whatever. I mean, we were using the blackout ones, but something was spooking them raccoons. And it was, something to do with that catch and the smell and the blood. And, so I just, see how things are and then react to it. I don't always understand exactly what's going through something's mind, but you see them do something, and then you react to what they're doing. And, even if you really don't know for sure what the situation is. But it's a heck of a lot of fun. It's weird to be down there in that mesquite country in South Texas, and you come up there and, I mean, this looks like coyote cat country, and you come up there and, there's a raccoon or a possum. I mean, it's just weird. It's weird to me to see them, and it still was in the end. I mean, it looks nothing like raccoon country, and you'd think that them raccoons down there would be like total shit, like you just garbage. Well, with the colors that they had, you had some of the big males because this is late. I can't imagine what they look like a little bit earlier, but you had some of the big males that looked had a yellowish look to them, and they were crap. But you had the other ones that the colors looked just like an Iowa raccoon with that pretty AB color, and they were actually bigger. I brought one home. I wanted to scrape it and see what it looked like. I'm going to get it, send it to Ben at Sleepy Creek Tannery and have him tan it. I want to see what it looks like tanned. They got long fur like the Iowas, but they don't have the under fur. And but it's a beautiful raccoon, great big male, beautiful color, just no under fur. But they got the long hair on the on the back, and they got that AB color. But I think they're nice, damn nice looking coon. But I figured first time I had been down there that they'd be crap coon, but they're eating that. I mean, all they do is eat high protein feed and and drink water. I mean that's pretty much what they eat. So it definitely puts weight on them. And I mean that raccoon from South Texas, I mean he had as much fat on him as I would say 70% of the Iowa raccoons we killed in December. It just that protein, just that high protein feed just puts it on them. But they ain't getting all that fat and that big because they ain't eating a lot of feed. That's why them ranchers want them things gone. I mean, they're getting in there, eating a bunch of it, shitting all over it, and that's why they're hiring us to come kill them. So, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. So then we went to Iowa, back to Iowa, beaver trapping for like a week. Well, first we come to Michigan and trapped up here. It was a weird spring beaver trapping because of it was in February. It was like 70 some degrees, 70 and 80 degrees some days in February. That's like unheard of in northern Michigan. And so we went and trapped around here. There was some flow to it, but it wasn't all that great. And so I said, let's just go to Iowa. And then we went to Iowa, and then we trapped down there for about a week, and we did pretty good. And then we met up with a fur buyer. He's a really nice guy to us, and he bought a bunch of coon off of us and some beaver. And he says, I says, oh, is this Rick? He says, yep. People call me Rick the Prick. And I'm like, oh, crap. We got a fur buyer that goes by the name Rick the Prick. So and that's what he said. So every time I call him, that's what I'd say, oh, is Rick the Prick there? He'd say, you got him. So, but he was from down in Iowa, really nice guy, and paid us really great on our fur. And then, so we went and sold all the beaver we caught in Michigan, in Iowa, to Rick the Prick. And then we went up to North Dakota for 2 weeks, and that was a lot of fun. We caught a ton of rats, and we were up there with Chris, and we just I had never been to North Dakota, and we were running mostly floats. But I had to set some blind sets, and just traditional Michigan type sets, and we just had a blast. We caught a coyote out there. I caught my first North Dakota red fox. I was setting for coyotes because they were coming in there after the calves at the farm we were staying at, and her foot was a little bit messed up, so just dispatched her. And but their season out there, most of the stuff never closes or it runs real late, because of their weather patterns and stuff stays so cold usually. But I'll tell you, I go out there next year. I'm taking some earplugs because that wind drives me crazy. I've heard about the wind blowing out there. It never quits. It never quits. It doesn't seem like, and it definitely could drive you crazy. With me, crazier. So, but just it was a blast. And all the guys we trapped with this year, and girls, Liz and Carl and Jeff Haggerty and Albert Simpson, and Chris. That Chris is Clint's personal chef. Now, when we bought Predator Control Group, now Chris is our official chef. So Clint's just SOL. So, but and when we stayed with Chris up to North Dakota, we never ate better. I mean, he was owning a restaurant and make gourmet stuff, and he makes it quick and he makes it good. So, and we had a heck of a lot of fun. We when Albert went back from Louisiana, he broke down, blew a tire out, blew another tire out. The axle was bent on his trailer. He had all kinds of problems right after we left him. And then when Chris was going home, he had a bunch of problems with blowouts and everything. He had to leave his trailer in Ohio. And anyways, we had brought some of the rats back, but Chris had took most of the rats and the glands and stuff with him because he was staying there. And anyways, the dealership that he was having his truck worked on, they had plugged in the freezer, and he kept calling because it took like 2 weeks when it was like 80 degrees out. And he kept calling saying, them freezers are plugged in, right? Yep. Anyways, they had unplugged the freezers, and you can imagine what happened to all the fur we caught. So, not a good deal. Some of it'll probably be all right, but most, not so much. A lot of skinning. So I felt real bad for Chris because he had to deal with all that, and he's a pretty nice guy. But I'd hate to see any trapper do everything we did and then have that all, the end result be that. But you know what? Most time I say when the money's gone, all you got is memories and the pictures. There was no money. So I'm glad I took lots of pictures, lots of video, and I definitely have tons of memories. Chris has tons of memories. Sarah has tons of memories. So that's why you have to go there and just enjoy yourself because you never know how it's going to end up. What our plan is like I told you we did real good on the raccoons. We did super on the beaver. We sold the otter for some for 35, some for 40, and that was all in the grease. The beaver were in the grease. I think we averaged right around 25, and then on the cats, we had the 70 cats. We still got 4 cats that are in the carcass. So if you're going to be wanting them one mounted, we got 4 cats left. So those are up for sale. But so we sold 66 of them and got $100 a piece. They asked me what I wanted for them. I says I want $100. And they said, okay, send you a check. And so I was more than happy. Maybe they were worth more than $100. I don't care. All I care is I told Sarah I want $100 out of these cats, and that was my price I wanted, and I got what I wanted. So if they got $200, I'm good with that. I set what I wanted, and I'm very happy with it. So what we were going to do is with the rats, is Chris is just going to keep them, and then Because like this year, there was a hot time with the rats. They were low, a hot time with the rats where they were actually up to like 650 in some parts of the country, and then it backed off and went down. So when it's going down, that's not the time to sell. So if you can hold them through till next year, get them put up or whatever, and then wait for that peak again and be sitting there in the catbird seat, and then you can, market that fur, when the price is on the rise up, not on the rise down, because, I mean, that's where we'd have been selling them at somebody's mercy. So, I mean, there's been times where I had no choice to do that. I had to, pay the electric bill or, the truck insurance or whatever, but that wasn't the case this time. So that was what Chris's plan was, is, we were going to hold them rats. So, but that was pretty much our, our fall, winter and spring trapping. And I got to say, I loved it. Just, but that's what trapping is supposed to be. And, go out there and make memories and have fun. And, we made pretty good money on a lot of the stuff, and that isn't always the case. But, I got lots of pictures, lots of video, and lots of memories with a lot of good friends that I really, really value. And so, anyways, I guess we'll close out here and try and get another show up next week. I really appreciate all of you. I'm looking forward to seeing you at conventions and shaking your hand and hearing your stories and hearing the kids' stories. And, the thing is, even if you don't have lots of money, if you can make it to a convention and just hang out, once you get there, you don't have to buy anything. It's just important that we all just hang out together. So that there's people out there like you, and there's lots of them. So, anyways, appreciate y'all, and thank you.